Welcome back to Three Sisters. We're kicking off with the Honda Cadet televised final. Kian Jewis and Tom Canning will lead from the front, with Hudson and Kimber close behind. Porter is there in 5th position as well. Keep an eye on Charlie Lamb on row 6. And also Danny Harrison could be a threat from further back. This one is going to be the first televised final of 2013, so we are ready to race for 2013. Here we go. Bit of jostling as they run down towards the right-hander, but it's Jewis who holds the lead. Canning trying to defend there from Rory Hudson as they fly through the chicane, and oh dear, Miles Apps getting a bit of a nudge there from Hayden in the 58 as they all sweep through nice and easy on the first lap.
Yeah, down off the valley for the first time then. It is Jewis that has the lead. Looks like Rory Hudson slipped through to second place. Canning's dropped down a place and loses another to go through the right-hander at Paddock. The 53 kart sliding up the inside, and contact between 53, that's Thomas Pegram, and the 14 karter Connor Grady.
Jan Pegram trying to drag his kart back onto the circuit. What a horrible start to the year. Later on into the race then, and we've now got Morgan Porter having made his way onto the tail of Kian Jewis, with Hudson right in there as well. These three are going to have a sensational battle through the course of the next few laps by the look of it. And you can't count Morgan Porter out of this fight. Hudson just looking back to see Matthew Hobcraft. Always a threat, as he himself said earlier on, I do believe. So it's going to be quite interesting to see how this one develops. The field actually staying very close together for this first race of the season, and it looks like we've got Porter trying to make a move. Hudson's not going to be too far away. Onto the pit straight they go. And I have a feeling we might get a break here. Oh, very close indeed between the top four. A few drivers jostling for position there. Hayden making up a couple of places. Huge smoke coming off the 21, Luke Whitehead. Looks like he's got the tyre rubbing on the chassis there, Alan.
Yeah, he's possibly got a problem with his rear bumper, and the bumper's rubbing on the tyre. It's causing the smoke to come off. We've got a slight breakaway here. Morgan Porter in the green helmet. Always nice for drivers to have a helmet which is easily distinguishable. We've got the 21 kart running off. That's the car that had the problem earlier. Saw the smoke coming off the tyre. Luke Whitehead obviously got some sort of problem.
It actually looks like the tyre was completely punctured on the left rear there, so no wonder he's pulled off. We've got this nice little battle here. Now we've still got Porter right on the tail of Kian Jewis. He's not making the move yet. He's going to have to time it to perfection if he wants to get through, and he realises he's got a huge train behind him as well. Rory Hudson there right on the tail.
Yeah, early stages in this race, Jake, so at this stage I think these four drivers will be happy just to push each other along, try and get away from the chasing group and make this a four-way battle for the podium positions, rather than allow the drivers in behind to make it a 7 or 8-way battle as we come to the latter stages. 42, Tom Canning, Tom from Radstock, out of the Next Gen team, teammate of Kian Jewis. He's leading that chasing group currently.
He's not having a bad debut either, particularly when you consider he's got Ollie Hall right on his tail, and he's leading his own 4-kart train as they fly onto the backside of the circuit there. The pit straight is coming up through the S's, and onto the pit straight they go now. Jewis leading, Porter, Hudson and Hobcraft. They're still looking back to see where the rest of the field is. They're pulling away quite quickly now, and it looks like, as you said, Alan, it really could be quite an interesting, fast-paced game of chess we've got here from the four leaders.
Yeah, Mark Kimber's involved in that second group as well. He's there in 7th place, the 13 kart. Mark will be looking to have a very good season this year, but here's my tip for the championship. Leading this one, it is Kian Jewis, and you may remember from last season, Jake, that he lost the British Open Championship. Mentioned that in my interview with him earlier on. Lost the British Open Championship basically on the last lap, and he was very disappointed with that, and I expect to see some defending from him certainly before we get to the end of the race.
Well, we've got Lamb, Hayden and Apps in their own 3-kart tussle behind the leading 8, and that one could be quite interesting, especially if things tighten up towards the second half of the race. Hudson looks like he's starting now to drop a little bit further back from Porter. At least he was on the last lap. He's managed to gain the momentum back again. It looked to me like Porter was starting to make his first impressions on the lead of this race, but Kian Jewis is an old hand at this now, even for a cadet. He knows exactly what to expect from racing of this kind.
This is the most important corner on the track. You've got to get that left-hander right, so that gives you the momentum through the right-hander here onto the straight. It can make quite a significant difference, maybe 1 mile per hour to your ultimate speed at the end of the straight. We've got to change for the lead.
It looks like we have. It finally looks like we've got Porter making that move on Jewis, and I think Hudson might have got through as well in the 5. So We're going to see who the leader is. It is Porter, and he's got the signal. Come on, let's pull away from Jewis. And that is exactly what Morgan Porter wants to do now. So Hudson has got through as well. Oh, a big slide there from the 20 of Lulham. And, shaking his fist there, the 42 of Canning. That was not a karting signal. That was, what on earth are you doing there? Shaking his fist at Ollie Hall. Goodness me, the tempers are flaring already, and it's only the first televised final of the year.
Down Rogerson's and up the inside for the lead. It's the 5 car. It's Rory Hudson into the lead then. Porter back in second place. Kearns now in third with Matthew Hopcraft, top runner from last season, finished 10th in the championship, who's currently in 4th place. Is Jewis going for the move? It looks like Hopcraft going for the move on Jewis and makes it stick. He's up to 3rd, Jewis down to 4th.
And it's also a lead change as well, because Porter is back through on Rory Hudson. So now we really have got the battle joined. Fantastic stuff. And now we've got the 24 of Hall in 5th position. But he's dropped a long way back from the leading pack. Here we go. Hudson on the inside. So too is Hopcraft. So too is Jewis. Dear oh dear. Morgan Porter goes from 1st to 4th in the blink of an eye. Now the racing really has kick-started.
Cracking racing, as is pretty typical with Cadet racing. On board here with Miles Apps, looking back towards the 58 card of Matthew Hayden. Matthew from the BRK team. Matthew's from Harlow in Essex. They come through Lunar Bend one more time. Later in the race though, it's Kieran Jewis that's back in front. Jake, he's come from 3rd back into the lead.
He certainly has, and now Miles Apps has got a very different problem. It's Charlie Lamb in the number 8, and you couldn't really get much closer than that. So Jewis, as you said, Alan, back in front, and now Hopcraft is there in 3rd position, looking back to the 13 of Mark Kimber, who's fought his way up to 4th position with some cracking driving there. And it's going to be a very interesting fight now, because there are not 4 karts in the leading train, there's about a dozen of them.
This is the midfield battle being led by the 77 card of Klaus Kuka. 5 karts in that battle. I've said before, I say again, those midfield battles are important. They might be racing for sort of 15th to 20th place at the moment, but at some point those drivers will be at the front of the field, and they always want to win those little battles. And look at this, Jake. We can see now, a bit of contact there between the 5 card of Rory Hudson and the 20 kart as they come down the straight as Chris Lulham. But lot closer between them, and look at this, the 3 kart of Jewis has decided now is the time to defend. This is still pretty early.
I think it was actually the 24 of Ollie Hall who came together with. Lulham was able to get onto the tail of them as a result of that little clip, but we've got as you said, about 10 karts now, never mind 7 or 8. I think we have now got 10 karts in this train. We've got the 11 of Miles Apps trying to move up a couple of positions, and all the time Jewis is defending at the front. Look at this, weaving in spectacular fashion, trying to hold them off.
He lost the British Open title last year by failing to defend when he needed to. He's defending particularly early here. Still time to go. Look at this. He's going to take the narrow line. He's basically saying to the drivers in behind, if you're going to beat me, you're going to have to drive all the way around the outside.
Well, isn't there a percentage, surely, if this is still quite early on in the race, to let them go, build up momentum, and then get back to the front? Surely it's easier than defending right from the front all the way through.
Well, it was a 4-kart breakaway, wasn't it? And we've got 9 karts now. Look at this, defending down paddock. He's still defending, and the karts. And here's the difficulty, Jake. You've got Morgan Porter in behind. Now, typically, Morgan might look for a switchback, go wide, and then come back underneath him. But he's got karts right in behind him, and he'll know that if he goes wide and looks for the switchback, karts behind may take advantage of that, and he may lose a position. Fastest lap by Mark Kimber, 50.98.
And he's in 4th position, right in the middle of all this carnage. This is sensational. Onto the Conrod straight they come. 8 of them, all in a line, jostling for position. And there is the last lap board. They receive it. And they're going to go all the way to the flag. And any one of these boys is going to take the victory. I can't believe how close it is between all 9 of them now. Not 8, there's 9 of them I count. And it's really close. Jewis is determined to get his season off to a winning start. In behind is Porter in the 6, Hopcraft in the 10. And it really is close, jostling for position. Mark Kimber still could have a hand in this for the victory. They're all swapping positions now. We've got the 24 of Hall making his move on Miles Apps. And drivers going wide, round the outside, round the inside. This is where you'll try and make those critical manoeuvres to make the winning move. Jewis looks left, looks right. Goodness me, where am I going to get this big attack from? And it's very close indeed. Porter and Hopcraft are going to try one final dice. They've come out of Luna. They're going to cruise to the line. Is he going to make it all the way to the flag? Jewis looks, he's done it. 2 arms in jubilation. Thank goodness for that. He couldn't have lasted one more lap. if that's how the racing is going to be in Super 1 in 2013, all I can say is bring it on. Sensational.
Matthew, you started 7th, finished 3rd. How was your race?
It was hard. We Kian started first and led for most of the race and started defending quite early, and no one could really get past him. So
Morgan, P2 then, your first race this season. How'd it go for you?
It was very hard because it's the first round, so it was all up for because it was the points. But I've been having some difficulty, so I'm happy with 2nd.
Kian, congratulations, first race win of the year. How are you feeling?
Yeah, good. I ended up having to defend really early on in a race, but I managed to hold it on and win. And I'd like to thank Next Generation Motorsport, David Bell Chambers and Paul Manning particularly, and I would like to thank my sponsors, Academy Leasing.
Sophie Fisher there asking the questions, and Kian Jewis taking the maximum championship points from a brilliant opening weekend, 2 heats and both finals as well. Matthew Hopcraft on the 144 behind, Rory Hudson in 3rd place from Kimber, Canning and Apps. Fantastic stuff as they go for their victory lap. We're about to get ready for the 2nd race action from Three Sisters. Don't go anywhere, we're going to be right back.